I'm happy that Tyson's back. I'm glad that he got himself out of a bad place. But you know, Tyson Fury talks a lot of smack, but he doesn't want any smoke. He doesn't want to fight. I can't see him fighting Wilder, but they agreed to a fight and he'll pull out with an injury because he's not ready. I've been trying to fight Wilder for what, 2 years? I've been the #1 challenger for about a year. I've had about 12 WBC sanctioned fights. I've had about 12 WBC title fights, but it is what it is. There is a lot of politics in the game. And if you look at it this way, fight Dillian Whyte, it's going to be a hell of a difficult fight, but fight Tyson Fury, he's not going to hurt you because he can't punch and he's rusty as hell at the minute. Wilder has a good chance of knocking him out. It's a business. Wilder's thinking, I'll take the easier day's work. So those are the words of Dillian Whyte. He doesn't think that the Gypsy King Tyson Fury is going to follow through and actually step in the ring against Deontay Wilder. Now, I've been on record before, and just to clarify my position, I'm going to say it again. I have got no idea whether or not the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury fight is going to happen. I've got no idea. There are idiots out there saying, oh, Hatman, you don't want the fight to happen. You're wishing it won't. No. Stop being stupid. Let's be logical here. The only reason that I want the fight to be delayed is so Tyson Fury can get in better condition. Yeah, I want to see the best version of Tyson Fury against Wilder. But as far as the fight not happening at all, no, I'd love to see the fight happen. If Tyson Fury can guaranteed be at 100%, let's get it on. Let's do it. Let's have Wilder Fury next. Great. Okay? But I'm just looking at the situation objectively. As always, I have to remain objective. It's not about who I support and who I don't support. It's about looking at the situation dispassionately, taking into consideration the behavior of these fighters in the past. I'm trying to read the situation based on that. You got people out here saying, well, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder filmed some kind of gloves are off type show, which people have posted photos of online. All right, that's cute. But didn't he have a gloves are off against Vladimir Klitschko for the rematch? Did that fight happen? You know, a fight ain't going to happen until the fighters are in the ring. That's the only time you know for sure that a fight is going to take place, when the two fighters get in the ring and start trading blows. As I mentioned in the previous video, even when they get in the ring, it's not a guarantee anymore. You saw what Curtis Harper did the other week. But when they get in the ring and they start trading blows, that's when you know a fight's going to happen. Up until then, pullouts can occur, and they do occur. And Tyson Fury has pulled out of several fights. He's signed for fights. He's had gloves are off type shows that were filmed, press conferences for fights, and the fight still didn't happen. And Frank Warren in general, I've lost count of the number of shows that Frank Warren has had to postpone and cancel. I've literally lost count because there are so many over the past few years. Have you forgotten about all that? And if you want to talk about another fight that was announced, and I mentioned this previously, some of you may have forgotten that several years ago, Derek Chisora versus Deontay Wilder was announced by Frank Warren. They had a press conference. Wilder wasn't at the press conference, but Chisora sure was, and so was Frank Warren. The fight didn't happen. So just because gloves are off, and I keep calling it the gloves are off because I can't remember what it's called. Well, I can't remember what they used to call it on Box Nation, and I don't know what they would call it on BT Sport. So I'm just gonna call it the gloves are off, right, for the purposes of this video. Just because they've shot a gloves are off, it don't mean the fight's gonna happen. Maybe it will happen. Maybe it won't. I don't know. I'm not claiming to know. I'm not making a prediction here about whether or not the fight will happen. But Dillian Whyte is making a prediction, and he's predicting that Tyson Fury will pull out. He says because Fury is not ready. And maybe part of that is also based on the fact that Fury has pulled out of fights before. Interestingly, as far as I'm aware, you guys correct me if I'm wrong here, I'm constantly repeating myself in it, saying correct me if I'm wrong, because I do want people to correct me if I'm wrong before I make certain statements, okay? Or after I make certain statements. Tyson Fury has not refuted the claim that Dillian Whyte made that he dropped Fury several times in sparring. Correct me if I'm wrong. He hasn't refuted it. And they were going back and forth on Twitter. So the last comment that was made, as far as I'm aware, was Dillian Whyte saying, I dropped you so many times in sparring. Fury didn't respond. Did Dillian Whyte really drop Fury several times in sparring? I mean, it's possible. I wasn't there, so I don't know. But I do find it pretty strange that people find it so difficult to entertain the possibility that what Dillian Whyte is saying is the truth. And the reason they don't want to entertain the possibility is because they're fanboys. They're Fury fanboys. They don't want to think about the possibility that Dillian Whyte actually did drop Fury several times in sparring. And remember, when they sparred, it was just a few months after Tyson Fury fought Nevin Pikage. A man with about, 4 or 5 KOs and about 20 fights or something. Nevin Pikage dropped Tyson Fury. Hard. And a few months later, he's sparring Dillian Whyte, a guy who hits a hell of a lot harder than Nevin Pikage, a guy who's a hell of a lot better than Nevin Pikage. Why couldn't Dillian Whyte drop him if Nevin Pikage could? See, again, I don't know whether Dillian Whyte really did drop him or not, but it's not so ridiculous for Dillian Whyte to come out and say something like that. It's not so far-fetched for something like that to have actually happened. Is it? I'm just being logical here, people. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Will Tyson Fury withdraw with injury from the Deontay Wilder fight? You know, one thing Tyson Fury said, and you have to watch people's words very closely. Tyson Fury came out a few days ago, week ago, whenever it was, and he refuted this idea that the fight against Deontay Wilder was not going to happen. But he said, not on my watch. He said, not by... Basically, the words that he chose made it seem like he was kind of leaving the door open for the fight to get postponed or cancelled. That's my reading into it, because he basically said the fight won't get cancelled as a result of my actions. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that kind of insinuates that the fight might get cancelled because of who? Wilder? Because of people in Fury's team? I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. But people, particularly in the position that Tyson Fury is, they will, and when he's under pressure, when there's people doubting him, they will often choose their words very carefully if there is actually a possibility of a certain fight getting cancelled. They'll choose their words very carefully to cover themselves in case the fight does get cancelled. And what I took from what he said was he is 100% intent on having the fight, but he can't control what other people do, what Wilder does, and that's true. That's fair enough. You can't control what Wilder does. You can't control what his team does. And to be honest with you, in normal circumstances, if Tyson Fury was to pull out of this fight, I wouldn't blame him. Because if I was in his team, I would want him to have at least one more fight. Probably 2-3 more fights before taking on Wilder. If I was in his team, ideally, because that's what his trainer wants, Ben Davison. That's what I would want. So I wouldn't be mad at him under normal circumstances. But under these particular circumstances, if Tyson Fury pulls out, it looks bad because it looks like a publicity stunt. That's why it would look bad. Him stringing the public along after criticizing Joshua for supposedly stringing the public along. Him using Joshua's name, him and Wilder both using Joshua's name to increase their market value. That's what it would look like at this point if Tyson Fury pulled out. So under these circumstances, looks bad. But under normal circumstances, if Tyson Fury pulled out, I wouldn't be mad because The guy has just come back from, over 2.5 year layoff, losing a huge amount of weight, mental health problems, drinking drug problems, etc. I can't be mad at a guy in that situation who, has a light switch on in his brain and tells himself, you know what, I need more fights. Let me leave this for now. I'll come back to it at a later date, but I need more fights. I couldn't be mad at that under normal circumstances. But the circumstances that we see right here, these are not normal circumstances. If he was to pull out of this fight now, it looks bad. If he was to postpone it and say, okay, I'm going to have one fight in the interim and we're going to push the Wilder fight back till, let's say, early 2019, I could live with that. In fact, I think that would be desirable for Tyson Fury. It would also postpone a unification against Joshua, which is the bad side of it. But just thinking from the perspective of what's best for Tyson Fury, if they didn't cancel the Wilder fight but pushed it back to early 2019, I'd be happy for Fury in that situation because it allows him to get back, hopefully somewhere near his best, to go in the ring with Wilder. So those are my thoughts on it, people. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Will Tyson Fury pull out of this fight? Will this fight happen? Drop your comments in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel. It's happening. I'm out.